Well. Things are getting really interesting to see who is going to be the first team that makes it to the grand finals. We just saw FlyQuest taking down Shopify on that second map of Bind. And I want to put you guys on the spot. I'm just going to do it right away. Bala, I want you to describe this map in one word.
One word? Wait, sorry. What? What the heck? Roller coaster? I don't know. What?
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
All right, good.
I think that's what I was thinking too. What about you, Shift?
I was gonna go bananas. That's a bananas map right there. It's just one of those things. It's just chaos. It's crazy. It's mayhem. Some of it produced by the Yoru. Some of it not. Actually, most of it not. It was just everyone was just all over the place, man. We had some real weird plays. We had knives from behind. That map had everything for all of the both right and wrong reasons.
Look, I was gonna tell you guys think of a word, and then I was like, to really represent the chaos of that map, I'm just gonna put you in the spot right there and then. And I think that really summarizes it perfectly. It was very close. The half was 6-6, and it was then what happened towards the end. It seems like a lot of back and forth, Bala, between the two teams. And you never really knew who was going to take the lead. Yeah. Shopify is known for, when they're down a couple rounds, they'll come back and you're confident they'll come back. But this time around, it was a FlyQuest that was making sure it would not slip through their fingers.
Yeah. I think early on in that first half, a word I'd use is spaghetti. But towards the tail end, it felt like both teams got really, really engaged in what was happening. For the beginning of this, I kind of felt like this was two teams who kind of know that they're going to play against each other in the grand finals already, and they're just testing each other, and as the game progressed, it got closer and closer, and things really got heated, and there's a lot to break down, but we just saw the stats. For example, Floor not having the greatest of games. I think all of Shopify not having the greatest of games, and it's still a close match. It's still a close affair at the end of it because the macro gameplay is still there, I think, from both sides.
And something that we got to see a lot of was actually both of the teams, but especially FlyQuest, having a lot of fun in a couple of these rounds. And Shift, you said it. Sometimes it's the Yoru, sometimes it's not the Yoru.
Yeah, this time it just happened to be the Yoru. It's just one of those situations that, kind of coming off of the timeout, I thought Shopify Rebellion did a really nice job kind of refocusing their attention on their A defense over towards like showers. But throughout the rest of it, it really was one of those situations that we're dealing with just absolute chaos. Flat out, the Yoru or not the Yoru didn't seem to make much of a difference.
That's funny from Sonda right there. She's been in this before, right? Shorting people left and right. She's been in this situation before. She knows what it's like to poke the hornet's nest here. With Alexis, with Mel on the other side, they'll take it personally, and I think actually, up until that point, Shopify was winning, but up until that point, I was like, this game is like really in the hands of FlyQuest. And then, right? And then Alexis starts getting going, and then there's a streak of rounds. I'm like, I don't know if it's best to be knifing people right now, but hey, you're gonna do what you gotta do. And they put it across the finish line. I just really look forward to what's coming next in this situation.
Yeah, and I think just kind of following up on the positive moments for FlyQuest, coming into this series, they had found themselves in half-buy situations more than anyone else out there in terms of what they've been able to do in the playoff bracket at this point, and they've been finding a lot of success on them, 9-3 overall when they're on these kind of half thrifties with just stingers and such. And there's a great moment where Baby Bay was calling out, hey, this is a great Viper's Pit taking over all of the front side of A, but it also on top of that allows these longer lines of sight for these sheriffs to be used or to play up close and personal with things like the Judge or something like a Stinger. So again, to set up for the how FlyQuest play off of these, we call them thrifty rounds, half buy rounds, whatever they happen to be, it's great. Fresh look at an ecograph. It's chaos. There's a lot of things out of here, Bala, but it's what it looks like.
Bala, can you please describe this in detail? Thank you.
All right, well, there's a line. It's going up, and then it's going down, and looks like Mount Kilimanjaro. I don't know what I'm looking at. There's a bunch of... No, seriously, this is the economy for the game, and it's going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So I think it describes exactly what you're talking about, Shift. Neither team really able to get a good handle on the game here.
And it was exactly as you said, kind of the roller coaster from the first half all the way until the end. Even as teams were adapting to each other, you saw those timeouts being called by FEs, but even then it was chaos. And something that I do want to keep from this map is the fact that if there's anybody that has seen the losing side of Bind and losing to the mentality not being the right place, right time, and being able to close out even those eco rounds that we saw, is Sonder 2 years ago when she was part of Shopify and Mel and Alexis were part of Cloud9.
Yeah.
You saw how Sonder would sometimes take that lead. It seems like they were about to win and then it would slip through their fingers. This time around, they made sure that Sonder was having fun, getting a knife kill and also getting all that space possible to put us in a really good position, because now we go to the map number 3 of Lotus, and we got to see that variety coming through on this map of Bind with the double duelist by FlyQuest. They find the success, but on Lotus, Bala, I think we go back to what we're used to, maybe some slight changes, but that's it.
Yeah, and I'm interested in what type of team comes out from both sides right now, because like I said, maybe it's getting personal, or maybe it's just two teams testing each other, knowing that it's going to be a grand final situation for them anyways, regardless of which one ends up going down here. But the thing for me is, I don't think that's really happened for the likes of Shopify since this team's been put together, right? It's never been a lower bracket situation for them. They've always had to they just go through the upper bracket. They always get the map advantage, and yeah, they lost the grand finals once, but they've always been there through the upper bracket.
Yeah, I think the thing too, when you put Lotus as the decider here, it kind of builds towards that story point that Shopify have really put themselves in a great spot just off of their map fluency to be able to have a variety of different options for map number 3 here. So I think that they find themselves in a position to be able to still do that. It's just going to be down to, I think, looking at how these two teams have preferred to play the map over the course of the qualifiers and things of the nature. They play it very uniquely different, where you've got things like Cypher, Fade, and Gecko being played for the side of FlyQuest Red. Yeah. Sometimes it's been successful, but largely speaking, they have been tested, if not beat, with that composition. Where on the other side, we're seeing something a little bit more standard, Killjoy, Omen, Raze in the mix. So, it feels like for Shopify, they're playing a composition that is very similar to how they like to execute, especially on the offensive side, to other maps we've already seen. It just comes down to, have there been enough adjustments for FlyQuest Red to be able to fulfill this different composition and find success with it?
Oh, yeah, and I was wondering if we were going to see something else coming through for FlyQuest, as you brought it up, with that Gecko being one of the key agents that they've been playing recently in the past 5 matches, but it's going to be still Bala Sonder on this Gecko. And I want to say I'm not the biggest fan of Gecko. I think it brings a lot of value, but I'd much rather go with that Shopify Rebellion composition.
Yeah, I mean, I look at this comp and the biggest thing that stands out to me, the glaring hole, is the Viper's not here, right? They only have the Omen. So regardless of what the initiators are here, and I agree with you, I like Gecko, but it's a hit or miss in a lot of instances. What's a big miss is the Viper's not here. So we'll see how they adapt. I think they've had a lot of time since the last time they played on this map. So we'll see if it's going to be any different and if they're going to have a little bit more success. But right now, I think Shopify, I mean, they're going with the tried and true. So they're not worried. FlyQuest is the one that has to be considering, is the game plan going to be enough here?
That's where it can really come down to, especially when it's a FlyQuest that has the pieces, has the individual players to make this run, to make it to the grand finals. But we know how Shopify gets, especially after they lose that one map. They're not going to look weak at all. If anything, that's when they look the strongest shift.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And again, I think there's something to be said to kind of zoom out a little bit and look at the trends. I feel so much better about this FlyQuest team when they're playing from a more proactive stance. Looking at how they were able to kind of go through Bind, a lot of the success they found on offense was using the Yoru to be able to find good execute timings and then be able to follow up with proactivity behind it. Same situation we're talking about at Ascent. Their post plants, when they're playing it proactively, they're finding more success. So I don't want them just to hide back and wait for things like this Gecko to find information. I want to see them get aggressive, and I think that them pulling in the sky will allow them to hopefully continue to build on that.
Let's see how this is going to turn out. Let's see who's going to be the first team to make it to the grand finals of our Game Changers main event. The first one of the year, as we send it to the casters, is Dog and Baby Bay again.
There are plenty of prize possessions up for grabs, a spot in grand finals on the line, and the potential to shock the Game Changers community once more if FlyQuest can pull this off, Trey.
Yeah, and FlyQuest last time they played this map, I believe, was February 9th, and it was kind of a disaster. They're playing this new comp with the Gecko, with the Rays, and it didn't look so hot for them. But that being said, they have had time to actually work and iron out a lot of the small things that maybe didn't go their way the first time they played this map against Supernova Galaxy, right? So, I mean, they might be cooking something up just like they cooked on Bind, and it could look better. But I've played SR a lot on this map in scrims, etc., and they've always been solid and always fought back and actually gave a really, really good practice to us. Honestly, better than some franchise teams I played or partnership teams that I played. Sorry.
Dang, y'all got rinsed, huh?
Yeah, they're pretty good at this map. all that I said was to the point that the SR is good.
Yeah, that was my takeaway.
But I mean, I also said that about them on Bind, and I mean they kind of got outplayed. So, and just early defaults here from FlyQuest, playing really, really slow.
Deep smoke up mid. And a prowler to follow, or excuse me, a dog to follow, a prowler to trade.
Here's that proactivity.
Trading canines here. Noto Nut pushing forward was already flashed. No, he had no shots. Zero's gonna fall too. An excellent start for the attack side.
Oh no!
Oh, it seems to be crumbling very quickly. It's a duel of the Rays. The satchel comes down as Floor gets 3 and the pistol for the defense.
Oh my gosh! And again, much like Ascent, SR just stealing the pistol round away. FlyQuest played that so good, showing that presence with the Gecko on C, picking the flash back up, and then getting aggressive into that B heaven area. But it just seemed like they were just not aware of the fact that SR pushed through that door area. And then this 1v1 of Floor stealing away the round. And that's so detrimental for FlyQuest because, I mean, we've been here before, and last time SR won a defensive pistol like that, they just took the game away.
Oh, and I think it bodes even worse because it's Floor who's getting hot.
Oh,
remember,
no.
Floor had a quiet.
100% correct.
Yeah, dude, Floor had a quiet run on Bind. This is an excellent start.
Oh, Sonya.
Ooh. He gets away, farms the orb. Now halfway to having the ult online.
SR right now, just spamming away. The rotations are coming through. Let's see if Bomb will get down, though. The cool thing about running the Gecko is that you don't have to plant with your actual body. This Bomb should go down.
Dude, that molly's perfect. It buys so much time. Laser Starbad forced to sit back and watch as Noya obliterates the rest of their team. Now they're stuck in trees, sitting by themselves. They hit the door. They try to rotate away, right into the crosshairs of Noya and Alexis. A flawless round as Shopify get 2.
Super clean round from Shopify. But if you're FlyQuest, I mean, you had a good round there too. You know, I mean, granted, you would probably want to get some guns out for sure, but
yeah, that'd be great.
The bonus of having that Gecko is that you can get the bomb down a lot of the rounds that you play. Win or lose, right?
Right.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, yeah, just held down that entire area with the Spectre. Spamming mouse 1, got a 3K. That's the Noya Fluorescent combo that we've seen as of late.
They've just been so good together.
Yeah.
You like how Shopify are doing? It smells getting up really far here. They've taken so much of the space A main.
And on top of that, they didn't have to invest a Raze nade. They didn't have to invest a Roomba.
Yeah.
All they used was a Vadai. Getting all that space without having to use any utility is massive. That ultimately allows Floor to be here for this B contact if they decide to do it. I think this is going to be a C fake into a B hit.
Agreed. Clear some utility, tap the door, and then go. But they're making a whole lot of noise B main.
Didn't break. KJ alarm bot or the turret.
Satchel's forward behind the dog as Donut gets some high ground. The nade as she drops down. It's perfect.
Wow. What a great Gecko flash. We've seen FlyQuest thrive in the chaos. That Gecko able to create so much with the satchels and the aggression again on the post plant. Taking the fight to SR, not backing down.
One enemy remaining.
Not skipping a beat.
Flawless.
Floor can do nothing in a situation like that.
Back-to-back flawless rounds, Doug. That's so huge going into this next round. Normally on that bonus round, if you get a couple guns out, that makes the enemy team have to invest light armors. But now we're seeing the opposite of that, right? Because of all the damage that went through.
Right, absolutely.
From FlyQuest, not having to drop a single player. Everybody sitting on full armor into this round. Economy looking really good. And that Gecko ult is online.
Waiting out the eye.
They're so
Just one way
methodical.
off that cam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
dude,
so
that's
methodical. Like you see it, right? One way on C, Gecko flash. We can pick the Gecko flash up. You have a cam spotting the A, so we don't have to use our body. And then you have this Lace and Dodo duo that have been so good these last 3 matches they've played. Just working up this B space together. Ultimately trying not to die early. That's the whole point of this, right?
Monster on the loose.
There's the Gecko ult. They satchel in behind. Whoa, wait, that went really far.
went
I think it's...
far.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to recover if that's part of the plan. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off. Floor with the ult. Pushing forward. The spike's in a really weird place. This round is so awkward. Floor's dead. Sauter gets a second.
Spike wings.
No, pushing forward, keeping the pace aggressive.
Last
But
player
Alexis
standing.
tries to get both and succeeds. Now the pendulum swings back one more, this time in favor of Shopify. Starbound left in a 1v2. Bell has gotten it to half, and she's going to be able to stick it all the way. The confidence to hold as Alexis plays with fire and doesn't swing out. But crisis averted, Shopify get their third.
And maybe overheating a little bit too much is FlyQuest, because Sonder actually brought that round back. It honestly looked like SR was going to win that round very clean when they were up 5v3. Sonder just getting that quick peek onto floor, insta headshotting the Raze ult, and then killing somebody in water as well that was trying to flood out. But Alexis just punishing that over aggression from FlyQuest, bringing them back into the round. Ultimately was the demise of FlyQuest. Another early C default here. Again, slow play. Sorry, go ahead, bro.
Oh, you're good, you're good. They're going about it quietly for now, but here we go. Finally launched. Oh, she got it off. She got the kill on Denoya. But it's a 1-for-1, and that's the tip of the spear. Now the spike playing into 4v4 settles as you have a 3-man flank coming through from Shopify all the way through spawn.
Again.
And maybe the camp catches it. Oh, but it's been cleared.
Oh, look at the
This is-
proactivity again, Doug.
Yeah, they're going to continue to push spawn. I think the question is here, how much are they expecting of this flank? Are they even going to be there to receive? They're pushing in the water. Nightfall's going to catch them all. A great paranoia, but it's too little too late. Now they realize they've lost the space. They've lost the sight.
Oh, it's not planted for them, Doug.
No. I don't know that there's a way for them to get through this either.
Oh, no.
It's just going to be spam.
Wait.
Oh, let's pick for Thea.
remaining.
Oh, she gets them
Last
both.
player
That's the
standing.
round.
No way!
A hero play again.
And Starbound lives on top of that. That's a disaster for a Shopify Rebellion. They had that round down. They had that round down to rights. It was not planted.
No, it was just, I mean, at best you can
the enemy
spam from
team.
Waterfall.
Last player
Yeah,
standing.
at best you can spam
One
from there,
enemy
but that's still so hard to nail. And Thea was a freaking hero there.
They were
That was
just
nuts.
running and gunning that whole way, winning the 1v1 against Mel, and then just spamming the bomber.
Blinded.
That resets the economy of Shopify. And now another change of game plan, right? FlyQuest, who haven't really gone heavy A. in these early rounds, now all leaning towards there with those 2 Cypher trips holding their entire flank. They will get early info here. And this Gecko comp it can be so oppressive on this map. Having that extra body to just have a gun out while you're planting the bomb.
I think we've seen this approach from Shopify both on gun rounds and on eco rounds, much like we're seeing here.
Yeah.
That's now all 5 on this flank.
They're really flank heavy. You're right.
Well, I think, I mean...
Saunders gonna go huge here.
Yeah.
This flash is gonna get everybody, Doug.
They know that they're there.
Oh
There's
my
the
gosh,
flash.
everybody
All
hit.
found. You're right. And they have an eye to deal with, Floor and Alexis.
It's beautiful.
It's just so methodical. And I think at this point, too, I would think FlyQuest are starting to expect and understand that they're, more often than not, is going to be a really big flank coming around late in rounds.
Yeah, and you see the post plan is so ready for that too. Sandra just staying tucked, understanding that her only job is to just sit there with a flash out.
Yep.
And off a contact, there it is. Flash comes out, crossfire, everybody's swinging. And getting in those positions so early on too. Reading into the fact that Shopify was playing that retake A and expecting that flank like you said. And again, here we go, the 2-2-1 default. This is the default to not get punished. Let's see if Shopify has something to say about it, though.
Already sending 3 this way.
Right there.
You see how, like, look at how smart FlyQuest is. Like, they're aware, okay, the one way came out C. That means we can prod up B a little bit quicker than normal, right?
And they have, I mean, they have found space on this area of the map a couple of times already.
Here comes the
Oh, they're
fish.
gonna ult. They're gonna ult. There's a paranoia, too.
Spike down.
She's still playing in the smoke. She's dead.
Oh,
They can't find anything else, though.
so awkward.
Very much so. Now scooping the spike up and trying to get forward, but you still have to get past this Lexus and Floor, and they do not let anything through. Blaze trying to land the shots and will fail. Floor gets 3, Shopify gets 4.
It's such a good idea from FlyQuest. They actually, like, they understand what they're supposed to do. They understand what the correct reactions are. But when it came down to the actual, like, timing of pinching the players at C mound together, it just wasn't all there. Like, the cohesion wasn't there for it. But, like, every player understood what the goal was of how to counter it. And had they had actually just flooded together and peaked together with the utility, it would have worked out so perfectly. So yeah, they lost the round and it broke apart, and yeah, they only killed like what, 1 person or 2 people in the round. But the idea, just the idea alone, like it was high level, high IQ. FlyQuest has really impressed me these last 2 maps.
I mean, they look good. They look really good.
I mean, I feel like they're the only team to take a map off of Shopify this run, right? Every other game has been a 2-0 in this specific tournament.
And some like record-setting 2-0s as well.
Oh yeah,
Right? Like
speed runs,
speed running, yeah.
speed runs. Noya's playing really, really aggressive here with the KJ ult. She got punished one of the rounds previous, so.
Dude, it's so hard to hold this because you have a paranoia, you have the gecko nade, you have the gecko flash, you have the nade. That's just a miserable spot to be in.
She didn't opt to drop the KJ ult in CT spawn. Maybe worried about that push again.
Yeah, and waiting for the rest of the teammates to arrive.
Oh, does have a nade here.
Oh, that flash is so good.
That nade is so
dead.
good.
They are so dead. Floor getting one with the satchel now. Popping the ult. They're not going to find any targets, but you know what they are going to find, Dre? They're going to find space. They've forced FlyQuest to vacate the site. Now waiting for the spam to come through. Noy is there on the swing. Floor is too. No, left alone. And it's not going to be enough. Even if she gets the kills, the defuse comes through. Shopify get 5.
Good job from Shopify to read into some type of aggression that FlyQuest was going to throw. And to punish it on top of that, right? And that's why you saw Noya fall all the way back to water. Because they just weren't confident in that fight in CT. It's too tight. There's too many close angles to play. Whereas in that water area, you can tuck from, what, 2 different angles and still fight people that are running out? Small things like that is what wins you games. Last C default here from FlyQuest. Investing a lot of utility, Sky Flash and Gecko Flash this time.
I've got your trail.
Here comes the fast hit. Oh yeah, has to go for broke here.
Again?
Oh!
She's getting another! Comfortable giving up the defuse,
Hey!
the plan, excuse me, and gets the wingman. Dude, there's no way.
One enemy remaining.
My president is just doing it on her own. Starbound finding one.
Starbound was one tap. Bell
Yeah,
there.
I saw that.
Should be impossible to win though. No, yeah, went crazy on that site.
And we were just talking about how hard it is to hold it. And I mean, most people just often give up the space because they realize this is miserable to hold on their own. But Noya just went nuts.
Yeah. She did play it very differently than how she has been playing. Most of the rounds, when she got punished, she was playing on that like back default area. So this time actually deciding to play in that bend area, just catching FlyQuest off guard. Small adaptation, but so much value. And even the Molly coming out at the end there, like just delaying even extra time.
And Starbound, I mean, they're yeah. The hit had a lot of cool layers to it, but Noya happened.
Yeah, I think reading into how Dodo Nut likes to path onto that C site hit, and just playing for it really, understanding that Dodo Nut is so far ahead of the rest of the team.
Another
How many
kill
kills
from
is
Floor.
Floor gonna get?
Too many,
B.
and she's gotten a satchel kill too on C. It's just insane. The amount of value that she's been able to get out of that utility is nuts.
Right now, it's falling apart. It's falling apart for FlyQuest, Doug. This is really tough. I feel like yeah, with the changes to Lotus, it made it a little bit less attack sided for sure. But I still think it's maybe like a 60-40 for attack still, even with the changes. That's how I feel about the map personally. So 7-3 right now for SR is really good. And they really haven't had to show many different looks for the likes of Shopify. It's been the same spread default for most of the rounds. Like, yeah, on the eco rounds, they were getting kind of aggressive and funny with the flanks, but I think they read into the fact that FlyQuest does understand that they were flanking early on, and now they're just playing more standard across the map, right? Taking early A control, having floor play in that little door area. Mel pushed up. Viper KJ leaning towards the C side of the map.
Yeah.
And Vala was talking about it, right? Like the value and impact that Viper has. We're seeing it, right? I don't think a lot of these nade kills would come out from the likes of Floor if that Viper wall isn't there to nuke people's HP down to like what? I don't know, like well, even that -50, right?
To nothing. I don't know the math. It's a rule not to do math on broadcast, bro.
I was trying to think of the number on top of my head, but I mean,
No shot.
I'm just a jet player, bro. All right.
Yeah, there's no. We don't.
I'm just dash in, get killed. You know, like what do I know about the game? The actual
So
game.
here's what's interesting too is Alexis has been throwing that eye onto Pookie every single round, and
There
this
it is.
time it gets cleared.
That was crazy for going for that trade.
I respect it, and she got it. That's a big one.
Cover going out.
I know exactly where.
Shadows traveling.
Neural theft invested.
Oh yeah.
The Prowler's gonna latch onto one. It's gonna be traded by a much bigger creature though. One that does way more damage. Lace getting Alexis. Sarah's there on the trade. She's gonna steal forward. Oh, Noya was there expecting it. Perhaps a little bit too much. Noya, again, a clutch situation. So many different positions she could be in. So many different paths she could take. Oh, she made a step.
Doesn't land the silent drop.
She heard that, though. She's got to understand a little bit. It's just one that's found, though. Thea That high-low just off of a crouch is enough to keep him in it. FlyQuest get to 4.
For the switch.
Good adaptation right off that timeout. Understanding that Shopify isn't investing that raise nade or much utility other than that bait to take that A space. So finally reading into it and punishing it.
Yes, this should do.
And that will open up Shopify to change their setup already. Putting the KJ towards A. Raze and Viper towards the C side. Maybe trying to combo. Oh, not trying to combo anything. Just trying to have some backup here for this Viper pit.
And it helps when floor is your cover. It's pretty safe hands.
I think Floor...
Viper...
Go ahead.
Go on.
I think Floor is playing for this rocket ult, trying to play on that top site and punish blast packs onto that, but not trying to mess with that C site.
Wisely so. I mean, you'd have to navigate the pit, and then obviously they don't know this, but Floor sitting there with the ult is just a lot to deal with. The problem is, though, Dre, they have so much set up on the opposite side of the map, too. They have the Viper wall they're going to have to navigate through, the KJ utility that's sitting across orb.
And an op on Noya.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you would never expect this, right? Oh, I thought it was going to be Clad. It ended up being none, and now everything and the kitchen sink thrown at Noya. Starbound trying to find a cheeky timing, but the gun barrel gives him away. Mel gets the kill.
30 seconds left.
I got the spike. A second ult used across mid. Floor's going to find nothing. It's just may take it. Uh-oh, the judge is on the other side.
Oh my gosh.
On a knife's edge. Mel making a step, trying to find some space. Lace is there to wait. The judge finding one, knowing what's on the other side. Floor hits 2. Now Sarah left to pull a miracle out of her hat. 2 spits to work with, but 0 idea of where the opposition might be. Careful clearing. And now a tap. Still paranoid. Still apprehensive.
She can do this.
Using to push the smoke. Time is short. She's got to hit the spam on the second. I think it was the tag, but that's all it was. She's got to get pushed. She's got to get pushed now. The shots aren't going to land. It's not going to be enough. FlyQuest gets a 5. I can't believe what I'm watching.
Salvaging the half after that timeout. Good reads into those rounds. And that punish on Noya was everything. Not getting killed by the op. And then flashing with the rocket on top of that. This got scary. I thought Sarah had a chance here. But Lace so smart to go wide there, right?
Yeah. Well, not even that. Like, take a full step back off of the spam into the orb at the beginning. Like, just play that really well.
And if FlyQuest win this pistol round, we have an even game. Or it should be an even game.
Yeah, again.
Kill them.
And that's with Floor popping off.
Yep. You're right. We mentioned it at the beginning. That felt like the one difference maker, but they're doing it in the face of another strong performance from one of the best players in the world.
See what Floor can do here. Armor, Frenzy, and Satchels.
And 2 targets to deal with, only 1 found, but now Shopify try to funnel out. And they're getting everything. Uh-oh, that's messy. That's ugly. The clip ran dry.
No.
And that might be the end. That's a big pistol.
Oh no, Doug. I mean, I don't want to point out the elephant in the room, but it's our job. And
point it out.
Dodo Nut was tucked there. Nobody cleared her for forever. The whole time.
Oh, that
no.
hurts. Could have been something else. Could have been more.
Could have gotten so many kills, but also
Cover going out.
maybe a little bit of a blunder from FlyQuest. Maybe flooding in a little bit too early. Maybe they should have flooded off of Dodo there in that scenario to guarantee the value of playing in that corner, because they actually had the perfect setup for what was being done.
Deleted.
Spike down. Attacker spawn.
Lace has the sheriff, and they have a little bit of space. But the gun difference on the other side is borderline insurmountable.
Yeah, it's honestly It's honestly a miracle they even got that trade. That's such a hard trade to get.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Spectre, just in that scenario, just long-range Spectre is also just not too good. I never get a kill long-range shooting my Spectre.
No. I mean, the gun's not supposed to work that way. It's late flank out from the defense. Maybe gets one.
Should be a good flash.
Maybe. The
One
flash was
enemy
just a little late. Yeah, Thea's gonna fall. The Sheriff now arrives, and Shopify already ahead of it, man. They're staring at it. They know.
Oh. What could Lace do? What could Lace do? Whoa! Oh!
She got hers.
Yeah.
She got hers. But I think, honestly, with that, yeah, they dropped 2 weapons, but for the side of Shopify, you're keeping 3 Bulldogs. So if you really want to play this in the long term, you can invest a little bit, and you're still going to have a lot going on. Like, Mel doesn't have to buy up. They can buy 1 more rifle. That's what they do for Noya. And then Flora, Alexis, and Sarah are still in great place.
And it's actually really smart to give Noya that Vandal as well, because she is going to be lurking on the C side of the map and trying to take the 1v1 against Cypher.
Flash over the top. Flora playing on the other side of the wall, and FlyQuest want to go aggressive.
This TP from Mel, they're so unaware, Doug. Oh no.
2 with the Sheriff. She's the one who didn't have a gun. They swing out on the 3rd, and Thea's greeted by, what, 3 members of Shopify? Unreal.
Up to this point, the game was so close. And just in an instance, 1 TP from Mel with chaos created from that Fade Lear, from Floor's Roomba, and those satchels that she did just opens up all those kills from Mel on the flank. They didn't hear the audio cue of the Omen TP because of the chaos.
Yeah.
For once, the chaos working against FlyQuest.
They've just done such a good job of navigating that up until this point.
And then here you see it already, right? We just went everybody A, reading into the fact that FlyQuest might want to send heavy utility on the A now. And they're just going to speed up on C. Just basic gameplay here. Masar, even holding for the Gecko flash. So this is all that prep work that has been done. Oh, Noya's going to get all the info here off this Omen flash if they decide to invest it. Will be contact, though.
Yeah, even if they contact the turrets there. This is a really big round. I mean, if Shopify can put this up, as they should, the gap becomes almost impossible.
Oh!
Hang on.
Uh-oh.
Hang on. Yep. Can they upgrade any of these weapons? I don't think they can.
Flora will just pop
Sonder has
rocket
gotten
here.
1.
Bye-bye.
Dude, and that was, I mean, she waits a little bit longer and the Dizzy hits and maybe there's a shot, but they kept it interesting until it crumbled again.
They did bait out the rocket, which is good for them, but 11 rounds should go in the way of Shopify. And Floor's back. She wasn't gone for long.
No. She's never gone for long.
I can't believe this. I mean, oh man. 12 kills to her name in the previous map, and then to just come out swinging like this. Like it's like it never even happened.
There.
Reading into the A fight again. Is this gonna be a tether nade combo? I think it is. Creating chaos from Mel once again.
Does she TP? She does. But the satchel's already back there! She still gets it in the face of the wingman, in the face of the stun. You're right, the chaos is way too much for FlyQuest to deal with.
Jeez.
Dude, that's probably their last gun round.
Shadows traveling.
I want to make something clear to all the viewers that are watching this right now. That A fight specifically is geared towards the way that FlyQuest like to fight A. That's all stuff that has been rehearsed. Because they're abusing the fact that it cannot be punished because this Viper wall is cutting off everybody from the left side. They're allowing Mel to be the solo person that TPs across and just giving her immense utility to just go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do when you're facing that like onslaught and then you're getting spammed through the cage? Shopify get up to 12. I mean, what? Like, I guess just go buy the 100 Thieves capsule. I don't know what else there is to do here. You know what I mean? Like, that was your last gun round. That was it.
They do have the ults here to string some rounds together, though. But let's see how smart Shopify plays this round. Let's see if they try to bait out some of these ults. And you see Noya with an op, trying to get an early first blood. Why not? Why not? If you can get an early pick, it's just the knife into the back. The FlyQuest.
And the twist. You're right.
Oh, there it is!
There it is. She freaking blue laced his hand off.
Oh, man. How do you bring this back?
Again, you don't. Well, I will say this, though. Donut, there are a couple of really big ults here. Saunders and Donut could be the difference maker, and Donut gets 2. Exactly what they needed. A second lease at life. Noya tucks tail, runs away. Op still in hand. Spike's still out of reach. Oh. No shot she hits that, right?
Peekaboo. Oh, she needs the dip.
And it's just buying time.
Last player standing.
That was the safety valve. That was the way out.
Better throw that up off the map.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You might have the money to buy another, but you don't want to give that to them. And that's exactly what she does.
I was asking how, and FlyQuest just show us. It's off of that Omen Flash and Rocket from the door. And I like that they even smoked their flanks so they don't have to worry about anybody wrapping front B during that little split-second timing they have of that door opening up. So really well thought out and clutch in the moment to save them. Continue to live another round. And there's that op now in the hands of Blaze.
Yeah.
Trying to get revenge in the same spot that she got picked.
But I love how calculated this is from Shopify. Yeah, they know, man.
Shopify are having none of that. Absolutely none of that. And this is really interesting. And I think Noya's honestly reacting the same way I am. Yo, I'm one off my ult. I'm one off my ult. Why'd you take the orb, Floor? What are you doing? You saw Noya just staring at Floor like, yo, dude.
Hello?
Yo.
Dude, they just invested a lot into this mid fight. Taya just got the paranoia out. There wasn't even a swing on the other side of it. This could be the beginning of the end, Dre.
Yeah, Omen Flash still intact for Mel. And it is a reoccurring theme, huh? Of Mel like having this Omen Flash for the actual retakes, not the sight hits.
Yeah.
Sonder. Oh no.
2 big ones. Plenty more to find though.
30 seconds.
And time has been bought.
I saw a misplay, a huge misplay trying to plant there. Not planting safe.
Spike planted.
Wingman utility soaring across the side. Terra drops 2 left. Alexis with ult, but not anyone to play alongside.
Uh-oh.
FlyQuest get another.
That's the momentum shift. All of a sudden, Shopify is making these micro mistakes of trying to get away with planting the bomb in a spot that's a little bit too aggressive. Like, you kind of got to work with what you have. When you get a little bit too greedy, you're going to get punished for things like that. And Sonder understanding that and taking the timing through that stair smoke. Punishing Shopify. But they still have a lot of really good ults, and the Rocket should be online this round. Let's see if FlyQuest decide to try to punish this grab at all, but I don't think they will because you don't see the Gecko lined up here. You don't see a Raze here. Just a Sky and a Cypher.
Guess they're worried about that early angle still. They can also get... I wondered if they were going to try to get that orb for Floor. But they don't.
It's actually so smart from FlyQuest because...
What are they doing?
They showed... Well, at the beginning, they showed They showed the Sky Flash in a one-way, right, to feint and make Shopify go towards A, but them opening the door ultimately is the hard read that Shopify knows they're not there anymore. So I bite my words, but it was set up very well until they jumped the gun too early on the A reclear fight.
Oh, this nade is huge. Or this ult is huge.
rocket.
Oh, but she got flash. She still gets 2. How has she gotten away with that?
Last player standing.
Starbound and Thea left alone, and it's all on the leader now. An impossible 1v4, and Ask too great.
Spike planted.
Shadows traveling.
And the pressure just continues to mount. Thea choosing to take the scenic route. But I mean, even here, you get your 1, and they're going to know where you are. The element of surprise will only take you so far. And that's all it will be.
Attackers
Floor
win.
gets 4, Shopify Rebellion. They get pushed, they got tested, but they're grand finals bound once more.
And it didn't look easy. I gotta say, Doug, it didn't look
No.
easy. And they finally had somebody fight back against them. Even have a map be taken off of them, and in a good fashion too. I like the way FlyQuest plays. I like the way they play the map. I like the way they play their macro game. Like it all makes sense. I see what they're trying to do. Even in that last round, I liked it. They feinted that they were gonna fight that C side of the map, put an Omen one way, put the Sky Flash, but they just jumped the gun a little bit too early. Shopify didn't walk into that A space yet. They needed to just let it cook a little bit more. Fully commit to the fact that they are assuming the reaction of Shopify, right? Because as soon as that door opened up, a light hit in Mel's head. Yo, everybody go back to C. It was all a ruse, right? And honestly, it just opens up floor to just go viral on the site, getting a 4K to close it out. So, yeah, things that FlyQuest will need to dive into in their VOD review of this match, and make that lower bracket run.
I think we're going to see them again. I think there's a very good chance we see them on Sunday, but I think you're right. At the end of the day, Mel's calling, and quite frankly, they say the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Well, Floor is the powerhouse of Shopify Rebellion, and then you've got everything else going along with it, and it's just way too much for really anyone to deal with. So again, grand finals bound. We're going to throw it to a break. We still have more Valorant action on the other side of this. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys soon.
Rachel, you okay?
No. I live with a broken phone. I can't trade in.
Okay, that's dramatic. Better plan's Verizon. Everyone can trade in their old phone and get the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus with AI on them.
A new phone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Wait, I'm on Verizon. Can I still get it?
Yeah.
I gotta trade this in, right?
New and existing customers can trade in any Samsung phone for a new Galaxy S24 Plus watch and tablet, all on us. That's up to $1,800 in value, only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
And the more things change, the more they stay the same. It is Shopify coming on top with the win, guaranteeing that it is that Shopify Rebellion team that makes it to the grand finals. It was a close fight against FlyQuest, but it's still, as we talked about, Shift, once it is a Shopify Rebellion that loses one map, you're gonna see them come back really, really strong for the last one.
Yeah, and you know, it's in the fashion of what they were able to do. I think it's like, when I look at the kind of the history for FlyQuest versus the history of Shopify Rebellion, no matter what the opponent is, Shopify Rebellion has this trend of being able to go on long stretches of putting rounds together. I mean, that was kind of a savior on their defensive half after it looked like FlyQuest is really starting to cook a little bit, finding good entry onto site, being able to get the post-plant setups that they wanted. But then all of a sudden you had a couple of good slayout rounds and a couple of good retakes come from Shopify Rebellion, and that's when things really started to shift and change. Then when we got to the offensive side, it really was just kind of let the dogs loose and just do what you want to do. There's just so many just chaotic moments again in this map, but it just feels like every time we watch Fluorescent be the first one into a site, she's good for at least 2 kills. It was just unreal how much participation she had early.
Yeah, it's hot and cold before in this series, and when she's hot, it's insane. Like, it's so difficult to stop. Yeah, I think everything flowed much better on this map. I think partly that's because FlyQuest goes for, I think, a much different style to what was successful on Bind. And
sure,
yeah, that's because of, you know, the comp choices that they're going for. But map to map, it feels like the identity kind of gets lost a little bit here, right? Where you have the Bind comp that has multi-pronged attack with the double duelist, that sort of thing that causes a little bit more chaos. And here you have a lot more of a controlled approach, right? It's such a shift, and I think that's what contributes to Shopify being able to turn it back up in this situation. I think this was dominant again.
And you see a couple similar ideas to some of the things that FlyQuest were running on that map of Bind, where they go for that aggression on the defense with 2-3 players. They try to make a specific play, and sometimes it was working out, but just like Bind and even towards the end, it is when Mel starts to get a read, when Mel really starts stopping this momentum to even start for FlyQuest. So that's where you see them really shining the most. On this map of Lotus as well, I think is very poetic because it ends the same way as it did for the open qualifier when the two teams played each other. It was Lotus to close it out, and it was the same score battle. It was a 13-7.
Yeah, I mean, the series went in the same direction too, right?
Yeah.
Map 1 goes to Shopify, map 2 Ascent. It's the same sort of thing, and then map 3 Lotus here. Yeah, it's back and forth. I did want to show kind of the story of the second half right away. It felt like the comp difference with the bonus round was right into play. I mean, you saw how the Viper was corralling the FlyQuest players when they ended up going on defense, how difficult it was. So I want to show round 15 here, the bonus round, because it's so impactful. These are the types of rounds that change the game, right? FlyQuest goes for a little aggro play, but they get stuck behind the wall, and the wall is allowed, with the molly there, it allows them to siphon them off. Mel gets a nice TP. There's really no counter control coming out. Everybody's stuck, and that's the round over. If that doesn't happen, and mind you, it did happen. If it doesn't, though, there's so much more momentum able to happen there from FlyQuest. That's the type of swing round that you really have to come in with a good game plan. And right there, they didn't, and it falters for the entire game.
And even when you look into what this last map was, there was a difference that you two were talking about, and it was Floor compared to second map, where Floor was a little bit more quiet. Then now for this last one, you see her once again shining and looking bright. And I mean, it looks brighter than ever. For that last round, you know, it was a bunch of rounds in a row that Shopify was getting on that second half. 2 rounds that FlyQuest was getting. And then to close it out, you know what had to take place? It was Floor getting 2 kills with the Showstopper, 1 with the Pain Shows, 1 with the Vandal, the 4K to close it out. And that just shows, once again, the impact ballot that she has.
Yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous. Game to game, the shift is crazy. And I pointed out the first blood percentage. Look at it rise right back up on Lotus. I mean, the raise is phenomenal there in the tail end of that game.
Even when it's 2 different agents that you see, or even the raise for map 2 and map 3, it's the same agent, it's the same raise, but a completely different floor. And the floor that we're used to seeing, just being at the top, looking confident, looking great. And Shift, I mean, can anybody, now that Shopify has made it to the grand finals, can anybody stop Floor? It seemed like there was a slight chance for FlyQuest, but it once again gets shut down.
Well, I think the only way to really answer that question is outside of saying no, because when Floor's doing this, no one can touch her. But, you know, I think the key to success, though, is you look back towards map number 2 if you are FlyQuest, and you took the Raze kind of out of the picture immediately. I mean, just not a lot of first blood control like we saw, but not only that, I mean, the ratio of the KD was just also not there. Like on the 2 maps that we saw FlyQuest falter in, it was not just the fact that Floor was getting involved for first blood. I think in total she was like 8-2 in overall first battle engagement. So like, you just can't have that type of success going against you if you are someone like FlyQuest. You have to be able to shut her down and not allow her to do what she wants to do, because in both maps 1 and 3, that was 100% the case. So it takes a lot. I mean, it's like you have to triple team her at times, it feels like, if you want to guard her, but that is the necessity if you want to beat the Shopify team.
And for Shopify, they're gonna be sitting pretty, looking comfortable on waiting to see who is gonna be that challenger that they're gonna have for that grand final. And now we get the chance to move into that Verizon post-match interview. This time around, we get the chance to talk to Effie's, the coach for Shopify Rebellion. And Effie's, first of all, congratulations for this win. And now, my first question that I have for you is, I want to ask you about how this whole process, this whole year has been for Shopify. I think there's always a lot of pressure for this team, but now especially more as you win the championship, and now you come back having to play the open qualifier and making it now all the way back to the grand finals.
I think it's been hard, to be honest, and we expected it after winning champs. We're like, okay, well, now we have a target in our back, you know, like everybody's gonna aiming for us, and it's really difficult sometimes to always bring the hype to every match, because we know these teams that are playing us are like hella hyped and they really want to beat us, and it's hard to match this like energy every time. So it's a big effort from the team, it's a big effort from everybody. I think that's what cost us second map, I think, to be honest, today. Second map, our energy was just not good. But as soon as we start hyping each other up and like being positive and stuff, we're a really hard team to beat. So it's just a question of like bringing the energy every game that is difficult.
And I like that you bring up that second map, because of course I want to ask you a little bit about it. It was very close, but it was very chaotic too for both of the teams, and it's FlyQuest who's able to close it out. You mentioned the energy was not the best point, as it always is, and you worked towards that. Do you think the reason why you guys were not able to close out that map was only because of that energy that you're talking about, or was it also maybe being caught off guard by that double duelist composition that FlyQuest was running?
It's definitely both. I think we lost to ourselves. I props to them, because I honestly, first of all, we didn't prepare Bind that much, because we didn't think Bind was going to be in the map pool. They caught off guard by it, so like our prep was very bad on Bind compared to like the other 2 maps, which I think our prep was good for. So that's factor number 1 for sure. And they also have 2 good duelist players. They probably have the 2 best duelist players outside of Floor on their team. So in Game Changers, it suits them well. So I'll props to them for that. But still, I feel like if we are bringing, like, if we have more energy and more hype that game, we probably close it out even still.
And something else about that too is we've seen a lot of different versions of the Shopify Rebellion, especially different versions of what each individual player can do when it comes to clutching, or you know, for Floor finding the opening pick. When do you think, and when do you see the teams shining the most?
I think it's gonna be a bit redundant, but whenever the team is shining the most is when the team is hype. Everybody on the team is like really close friends, and like we spend a lot of time boot camping. So I think the team shines when we're having fun, to be honest. Like, it's very cliche, but it is what it is. For our team, it's really important to have fun, and we have fun in scrims, and we have fun like in practice. So like, if we are able to replicate that in matches, it's really hard for us to stop us, for people to stop us. Sorry.
And a little bit more on that is VCT, for example. When you watch VCT, you see teams that win champions, they become the best team, and then they either separate and they're no longer together, or they lose and they are not able to keep that dominance over and over again. It's just been, you know, one team there making it happen 2 times in a row, that being Fnatic. For you here in Game Changers, how difficult do you think is going to be to keep the lead, not only in North America, but to see you guys once again towards the end of World Championship?
I think it's definitely going to be harder than last year, for sure. I expected it to be harder than last year. Last year, like, people were doubting us. People were doubting Mel and Lexi, like, saying, like, yeah, they're probably going to do good online, but online they're not going to do good. So now that's not a problem anymore. It's definitely going to be harder this year. So our goal is to, like, first of all, acknowledging it is like the first step. Like we have to acknowledge that this year is not going to be as easy as last year because of that. And then after that, it's just going to be like keeping up the hard work, keeping up the motivation. It's hard to be motivated. I'm not gonna lie, the team, I think, and myself included, are a bit tired currently. We've come up like from a stretch of playing, like we played Open Qualifier number 1 for Game Changers, and then we went right into Challengers Qualifier number 1, where we had like a kind of deep run. We made it really far in the first one, and then we had the second one after, and then we had GC now. So like we're a bit, yeah, we're a bit on our running on fumes here for the just Game Changers. So we're like pushing through for this one, and then we're just hoping to win this and then take a deserved break, and then after that fully reset and back on the grind again.
Well, the good news is that you get a break tomorrow, as you get to see who you're gonna be facing for those grand finals. Can we get a prediction of who you think is gonna be in the grand finals with Shopify Rebellion?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be FlyQuest again. I think Passion Project is. I think Passion Project is gonna win this next game, and I think it's gonna be Passion Project against FlyQuest. All the respect to Passion Project, I think they're really good, but they just made a roster change, and FlyQuest seems to be getting better and better with each encounter against them. So I think it's gonna be a rematch against FlyQuest.
Okay, I'm gonna be very excited to see those grand finals. Thank you so much, Effys, for the interview. And with that, we get the chance to close out what is this match that was guaranteeing who was gonna be the first team to move to the grand finals. But we have one more match to go today. It's gonna be Decimate against Passion Project. You already heard Effys' predictions, but we gotta see if they turn out to be correct right after this break.
about time to get it. It's about time, not forget it. It's about time. Never gonna get up now. Never gonna stop now.